What's going on, everyone? Chase here, and today we're going to be talking about how to earn over $1,000 a day with ChatGPT and automation. So I'm going to show you a proven to work system that brings you leads on autopilot. Here's an inbox full of 5,000 messages, and we were able to generate all these different leads in just the last 24 hours with a system that is very, very easy to use. Basically, what you do is you send messages through contact forms on websites, and you can load up lists, or you can find new lists that you can actually scrape, and you can send whatever message you want to these websites. So just a really quick example, what we're doing on this Gmail here is we're telling people that we found something wrong with their website, and we're going to offer to fix the things that we found wrong, and we're going to get paid for that. So again, if you're new here and you've never made money online before, don't worry, you're in the right place. One thing I want to make as a disclaimer is I'm not going to show you some sort of get rich quick thing. This is something that takes time. You're not going to just earn $1,000 a day overnight. This is something that you have to actually work on and slowly build. And if you can understand how to just set up the basics, you're going to get so many leads. And this is really proven to work. I have countless different inboxes that we're doing this with. All we have to do is set up like a Gmail and start filling up the account with leads. Here's another account that we just did this with. You can see 4,359 different emails here. And this, we're asking a little bit different of a question. We're saying, hey, is your website for sale? And then we're going and buying websites. But there's so many different angles you can use with contact forms. And the way this works, if you're not familiar with contact forms and with ChatGPT and AI, it's pretty simple. What we're doing is we're just coming up with a very straightforward message, something like, hey, is this for sale, or is this supposed to be this way? We're just asking simple questions, but we're doing this at scale, right? We're doing this with millions and millions of different websites. And I'm going to show you how to get started with this so that if you have a service, if you want to start getting leads for something, you can do that. All right. So if you want me to keep you updated, by the way, on this method, and you want me to show you everything that I'm doing, all the tests that I'm running, all the different messages that I'm sending so I can show you what's working, just respond with the word yes in the comments. Take a second. It helps me as well know that you're interested. It also helps the algorithm. So just take a second, respond with the word yes right now in the comments, and I will know to give you more videos like this. Also, we're going to be doing a live full training at Viral AI Clone tomorrow. And we try to do these at least once a week, but Viral AI Clone, you can get invited to a live training where we'll bring you in on Zoom and show you everything we're doing behind the scenes. So go grab that if you want to join that class. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is grabbing the bots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a bunch of links below this video in the description. And in those links, I'm going to show you all the different things that you should grab if you want to get set up with this. Now, the only thing that you really need is the tool. The tool is called GSA. And again, I'll leave a link to this in the description of this video, and you can go and grab it and download it. Now, to send messages with the tool, it does cost about 90 bucks. It's a one-time license. You don't have to pay again after that, and you can start using the tool. Now, if you want to do this manually as well, you can still do that. If you don't want to go and start sending messages with the tool, you could essentially go to different websites and just manually go to people's contact pages and fill them out. So I could go to, for example, like iPhone repair in Santa Barbara, California, and I could click on this website here, and then I could go to contact, and I can go fill out this contact form manually and say, hey, I noticed something wrong with your website. Would you be interested in hearing what it is, right? So that's how I could just go and manually, and this will work too. If you send enough of these just manually, if you don't want to spend the 90 bucks, you'll get leads from doing this. It's just with the contact form, the tool, it'll just go and do like thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of these at a time. So let me show you how to use the tool once you download it. So again, go to the link in the description, go grab it if you want to use it. And then once you download it, you're going to click on new project, and we're going to call it let's say we want to find iPhone repair shops in Santa Barbara, California. Okay. Now there are some settings in here that you probably will want to turn on. Proxies. This is if you're going to be using a lot of websites. Like if you're going to be scraping and sending messages to a lot of websites, generally you want to turn on proxies. If you're not going to be doing over, let's say, a couple thousand, then it doesn't really matter. But at some point you will want to use proxies, and I will leave a link to where you can get proxies as well below this video. But if I click on OK, start, scrape, and check. So what this is going to do is you can see it's finding all the websites that are listed for iPhone repair in Santa Barbara, California. And then checked means that, let me open this so you can see this a little bit better. Checked means that it's checking for contact forms. It's checking for which websites have contact forms. So all the greens popping up here, that's all the websites that have contact forms on them. Now what I can do is I can start thinking about what message I want to send. So since I'm only contacting iPhone repair websites, I can say, hey, I noticed you did iPhone repair. I actually specialize in marketing websites like yours in the in the iPhone repair niche. I noticed a few things wrong with your website. Let me know if you're interested in me helping you fix them. So I would take that message, I would stop this, I would go ahead and wait for this to finish. Okay, there we go. Double click, submission content, and then this is where I can kind of customize what I want to add in here, right? So I can say, all right, here's my email. So ideally what I recommend is get a burner email. And the reason why is you don't want to use your regular email because it's going to get a ton of auto responses. And you don't want to have to deal with getting all those auto responses in your main email inbox. So I would just create a Gmail, a brand new Gmail address, call it whatever you want. And then you would put that Gmail address in here. So for example, one of our, current Gmails is Todd something. Or if I don't want people to email me and I just want them to text me, I can change this so it's just random email and not self-defined. Okay. Now in here I can put in the subject line, and this is really just filling all of the different parts of the contact form out. So the subject line, I can say, is your website okay? So let's see that in the subject when they get the email. And remember, we're not doing email marketing. This is different than email marketing because what we're doing is we are, instead of sending an email, we're submitting a contact form submission, and then it sends them an email from their contact form. And then if they respond, it goes to our email, but we're not actually sending emails. We're submitting contact forms, which are then sending emails, if that makes sense. So, okay, I specified the message, the subject, the first name is random. And then what I can do is I can start sending. So I can go click on start. And then I can also, GSA also has a CAPTCHA breaker where it will go, and if there's a CAPTCHA on the website, it will go and decode the CAPTCHA as well. So if I put these side by side, and I can just show you what this looks like when I run it, and this is just a very simple way of running this. There's a lot more that you can actually do for this, but let me click on start and send, and it says, do you want to use the selected URLs from the listing? I'm just going to go no. I'm just going to do all of them, and then there we go. Now it's going to start sending. You can see there's already 40 messages that got sent. All these deCAPTCHAs are running now, so it's getting through the deCAPTCHAs, and you can see I already sent 111 messages. That's so fast, right? Now imagine if you let this run and you scraped, instead of just going and getting, iPhone repair in Santa Barbara, now you go and add, a bunch of different keywords. You could do iPhone repair in, Los Angeles and all these different places, right? And then this will go and it'll just scrape keywords, websites for you. Now, one of the other options though, is if you don't want to go and spend all this time scraping websites and then, verifying if there's contact forms, you can actually buy, you can see here, this is a zip file of 14 million contact forms that are already checked. So I have a friend who specializes in contact forms, who I actually learned all this from, and he goes and he actually runs private servers like the one we're on right here. This is a computer in Los Angeles, actually. And what he does is he goes and verifies millions and millions of contact forms in the US and also just around the world. And so instead of having to go and look for all the contact forms yourself, you could actually just take a list of 14 million contact forms that are already ready to go, and you can start just loading them in. And it's very simple to do. You take a contact form, like let's say I wanted to take this one. This is a chunk of 1 million contact forms. And I could go to the tool. And I wouldn't recommend starting with 14 million, by the way. You don't need that many. You only need, like, honestly, maybe like 100,000 to get a ton of leads. I mean, 100,000 is probably like 500 or 600 leads, right? At least. Depending on what you're sending, right? You want to make sure you're sending good stuff. Like if you send a message that just looks like spam, you're not going to have a high success rate. But that's why what we do is we actually test all the messages for you. We show you what's going to get the highest responses. We show you, what's likely to get a sale. And so we already this is what we do in our free time, is we just test all the messaging and we make sure that, whatever we send is going to get a high response rate. But anyways, if I want to load in this list, right, I can go to the iPhone repair project or any of one of these projects. I can click on add my own URLs, and then I can take one of these chunks of 1 million contact forms and it'll just load that in. So now when I click send, it's going to go send this to 1 million different contact forms. And again, these are already pre-checked websites. So I'll leave links to all of this in the description, the pre-made contact forms, the proxies, everything. And then obviously also I would recommend that you do get into Viral AI Clone because we will be walking you through all of this step by step, viralaiclone.com. So go join that. But essentially, in a nutshell, all we're doing, again, is we're just taking contact forms. We're submitting a message saying, hey, we noticed this. And then the cool thing where the AI and the ChatGPT stuff comes in is you can start having ChatGPT analyze the responses. And you can have ChatGPT actually go and craft the messages for you. So if I went to my inbox here and found, somebody that said yes to whatever I'm asking. So this person's saying, yes, my website's for sale. And they say, yes, let me know your offer. I can take this whole message here, head over to ChatGPT, and I can have ChatGPT formulate my messages for me. And I think there's even a Gmail extension for this. But I can say, analyze this message and let me know how to respond. Go like that. And by the way, while this is running, we can do a lot more with ChatGPT. So one of the things that we can do with ChatGPT is we can actually enrich these lists. And what that means is that all these different websites we're getting, what we can do is we can actually download those lists of websites, and we can have ChatGPT find different things that's going on with the website. We can actually enrich these lists. So I could download this as a CSV, upload it into ChatGPT, and I could say, analyze these websites and tell me what they all have in common. There's so many different things that you can do with ChatGPT, especially for now, because you can now attach files, which you couldn't do in 3.5. So not only that, but we can download all the responses and we can actually figure out what's the thing that they're most interested in. And then we can have ChatGPT craft our messages around that too. So the cool thing is that we're not just doing contact forms, we're also doing data enrichment, and we're doing, AI data analysis. And so as we kind of train our models on all of these different responses, because we have millions and millions of responses, we could essentially create a custom GPT that is trained on cold outreach, and it tells us everything that we need to do to get the highest responses. So we're learning a lot behind the scenes, and I can't wait to show you again on tomorrow's class, viralaiclone.com. If you can't make it, there will be a replay as well, so you can go and watch that. But I can't show this, like everything we're doing behind the scenes to the world, just because, a lot of this is kind of like it's just not something that we want to show to everybody, because we want to keep what works to ourselves, right? So if you want to get in, that's up to you. But as far as running the system, pretty straightforward. You grab the tool, you start sending contact forms, and you start studying. Now, most people, they just want to make money right away. And that's what I was saying. Don't expect to make, $1,000 a day right out the gate. Start expecting to just figure out how to get leads, right? Most people, they're like, how do I get sales? You don't even have leads yet, right? So first of all, think about what are some of the messages? What are the messages I need to send to get people to respond. Okay. And then that's why we're always testing what's going to bring in the highest responses, because some of the messages we send, I'll be honest with you, like we'll send, a million messages and the responses we get are terrible. Like people aren't interested. They tell us to go away. And then we'll send other messages, let's say we send 100,000 or a million or whatever we send, and we see like thousands of people say, wow, I really want that. And so the idea is that you get these leads coming in and then you figure out how to monetize them, right? And this is where you kind of have to be creative, right? You have to figure out, what are they interested in? What are they not interested in? What's going to make them think that you're just a spammer versus somebody that's actually going to help them and help them make money. And so again, it just takes testing. So what I would do if I were you is start playing around with contact forms, start playing around with cold outreach, and then send some messages and see the responses. If you get some really good responses, then figure out how to make money. But right now, if you haven't gotten any leads, if you're not getting at least like 100 leads a day right now, you're not on your way to make money yet. Okay. So figure out how to get the leads first. And again, figure out how you can start getting to the 100 leads a day mark. And if you can do that, which again, this system is a proven system that brings in leads, then you can go and really begin selling, okay, and automating. But don't automate anything until you do it yourself first, okay? And learn the system. Once you get good at this, I'm telling you, once you get good at understanding how to find websites, how to get them to respond, how to do this at scale, right? Once you do that, everything else is pretty straightforward, right? All that after that is just nurturing. And nurturing is really just getting on the phone with people, explaining them how to do what you do. And we're actually trying to find a way, by the way, as well, where, we can connect. And this is something that actually I think is already working. But what we're doing is we might start offering this as a service to the people we're reaching out to as well, because a lot of businesses could use this. And essentially what you could do is you could offer a lead service to a business owner. And then what you can do is when you offer the lead service to the business owner, you can use something like this to connect them to another source of leads. So for example, let's say we were finding people that did web design, right? So let's say we reached out to a bunch of people that wanted to get web design clients. Well, we could use this service to connect them to websites that need help. And then all we have to do is load up 2 messages or 2 different contact forms, right? So the first one would be to web designers offering a lead service. And then the second one would be connecting those leads or the web design to the leads that we would then go and load up another message saying, hey, there's something wrong with your website. And then we can just take a referral fee on that. So the power of this is insane. And most people don't realize that this is even possible. And so if you can take advantage of this now, you'd be very surprised by how much leverage you can get opposed to most people. Most people cannot get anything close to this leverage because they don't know how it works. And honestly, the hardest part about all of this is the setup. If you can figure out how to do the setup, and by the way, if you message me on Discord, I have a Discord server. I'll leave a link as well in the chat. If you give me a DM on Discord, I'm offering a setup service where I will actually go and I'll help you create a virtual private server so it's not running on your main computer. And I will help you set up all of this. It'll probably take like an hour or 2. And I would have to charge for my time. But just for an experiment, I want to see what you actually do with this. So if you're interested in that setup service, just let me know in the comments. Just let me know that you're going to send a DM and connect with me on Discord. Again, I'll leave the info in the description of this video, and I will walk you through how to get all this set up, and I will help you set it up, okay? So that's it for today. Again, if you want to join our live training Viral AI Club, I'm really excited to see what you do with this system, and until next time, happy money making. We'll see you. Bye.